Hello, my name is Danielle Rogers, and today I'm going to be talking about modern dating culture and how it affects emotional well being, especially through the use of dating apps. Over the past decade, dating apps have completely changed the way people meet and form relationships. Instead of meeting people naturally through friends, school, work, a lot of connections now start through apps like Tinder, Bumble, Match.com, Raya, Hinge, Farmers Only. The list can go on and on. These apps make it really easy to meet new people quickly, but they have also created a fast paced environment where people are constantly swiping, matching, and then moving on. Because of that, dating can start to feel less meaningful and more like a cycle. This mainly affects young adults, but even teenagers are now being exposed to this type of dating culture. So, it raises an important question about how this environment impacts people emotionally and mentally over time. Overall, modern dating culture has a strong impact on emotional well being by lowering self esteem, increasing anxiety and emotional distress, and changing how people form and maintain relationships. This effect I found most important is how dating apps impact mental health, especially anxiety and emotional stress. One of the biggest issues is something a lot of people have experienced, which is ghosting. That's when someone you've been talking to just suddenly stops responding without an explanation. At first, it may not seem like a big deal, but when it happens repeatedly, it can start to feel personal. It can make people question themselves or wonder what they did wrong, even if they haven't done anything at all. In fact, one study found that frequent use of apps is associated with higher levels of psychological distress and anxiety. Another issue is constant comparison. Dating apps are very appearance based. So people are often comparing themselves to others without even realizing it. When you're constantly seeing people at their best, it can make you feel like you're not enough. Research supports this by explaining that users can experience increased feeling of inadequacy and reduced self-worth due to the constant evaluation by others. This is also affecting our younger users. One study found that dating app use was significantly associated with higher levels of psychological distress and experiences of one's victimization. And something that is really important is how this affects many different communities. Research on the LGBTQ plus population shows that while dating apps can help people find connections, they can also increase exposure to discrimination and negative interactions, which adds to even more emotional stress. So, overall, even though dating apps are meant to help people connect, they can also create more anxiety, comparison, and emotional pressure over time. I think what stands out most about this is people don't always realize it's affecting them until they already feel emotionally drained. This matters because these experiences don't just stay on the app, they carry into real life. If someone is constantly dealing with rejection or comparison, it can affect how they see themselves and how they approach their relationships. For example, someone might become more guarded, less trusting, or even avoid dating altogether. It can affect communication, making it harder to build deeper and more meaningful connections. In conclusion, modern dating culture has a real impact on emotional well being. While dating apps make it easier to meet people, they can also lower self esteem, increase anxiety and emotional stress, and change how relationships are formed. Research shows that these effects are real and are becoming more common. I think the most important takeaway is to be aware of how these platforms are affecting us so that we can use them in a healthier way. Thank you.